Kyle, we're here. It's Troy. It's Kyle.
How we doing?
It's Kyle.
That's Troy, right there.
There he is. All right, so today we're talking about what, Kyle?
Wheelchair softball.
Wheelchair softball workouts. So we're actually doing a workout for the wheelchair softball athletes, right?
Definitely.
And most of these, if I remember correctly, as we built this, most of these are going to be machine-based stations.
Definitely.
All right. So some of our workouts we demo with all dumbbells, some all machines, some all exercise bands, and some a mixture of all those. And today,
Just to show the variety of the different ways you can work
you
out.
can use anything.
Anything.
Right? And today it's going to be probably 90% equipment.
Definitely.
We got one or two tubing things.
And we're fortunate to have not less machines, but there are how many different brands out there?
Gazillion.
So you can use anything that's available to you, even body weight. Wheelchair softball, primarily upper body, core. So that's what you're going to see us working out. Starting off with some rotator cuff, simply because as adaptive athletes and the wheelchair, we're doing rotator cuff a lot. Now, in your experience, Troy, I know how you like to train me and other clients to fatigue with our bigger muscles, but what is the variation that we do for rotator cuff?
On the prehab type exercises, we're not trying to destroy this muscle. We are trying to just get it stronger. So you're going through good quality reps. You want tension, but not extreme, total, all-out, exhausting tension. Now, we use a balance disc, but you could use a towel roll, a rolled up, whatever. And the point is to hold that elbow in tight to the body and hold it in place, because you don't want to move the arm out and back. You want to keep that elbow even with the body.
And should have started with this, that this is internal rotation. And next up, flip that over. You can stay there. I got two arms.
Well, this is true.
One leg, two arms.
But normally you would just leave it there, switch around and do external rotation.
But
we'll
this is
demo it
external
this way.
rotation.
All right.
So internal and external. And number of repetitions, what would you recommend on something like
10.
this?
We
10,
just
12?
do 10 all the time.
Just
Yeah.
nice and slow, good range of motion.
Yeah. As long as the tension's always there. All right. So internal, external rotation.
I can cheat on this. I think I can step on it and do.
Okay.
So, with the trainer, he could hold it. You could tie it around something, but since I'm setting, now we're working.
Kyle doesn't want me to really know what's going on.
No,
so
I need him there
throws
to
it in.
watch my technique. And this is just one variation. If you're working on your own, you can anchor it down to a chair leg or stand on it. And of course, there are different colors, and they don't necessarily work or correspond to the amount of resistance. So find what works out for you. And this is shoulder.
It really is a true trial and error with these tubes.
Shoulder extension, if I remember correctly.
There you go.
So
Call it that.
now this is where I'm going to put him back to work. Now we'll do the flexion. And I'm going to make him move out of the camera. Go this way. So
Okay. All right.
and you could do it start a little higher somehow, but the flexion is just bringing it in this way, all the way back. And he's putting an awful lot of resistance on it just by stretching it out. So for rotator cuff, we've got the 4 different tendons of the rotator cuff, training all of them. And don't forget to stretch it out as well. You want to stretch it out. And what we're trying to do is prevent injury. And your favorite word is?
Prehab.
Prehab, not rehab. That's what you do after you injure it or after surgery. Prehab. So we're trying to prevent the injury. And that's shoulder flexion.
And you're doing all of those on both arms. Don't be confused by our limited demo here. We just have a lot to talk to you about today. We don't want to spend a lot of time for you.
And since we're right here and we don't like to rest in between machines,
Perfect.
so little leg press.
So again, 4 seconds on the way out, 4 seconds on the way in. Constant, continuous tension. That is the key. It never releases at any point of the exercise.
Which means we don't lock it out, we don't rest it.
Don't set the weight down.
Oh, we definitely
Don't want to do that.
Definitely don't slam it down either.
Oh, please don't slam the
Slam
weights.
it down.
So just a nice 4 count out, 4 count back. Looking for fatigue. Unlike the prehab stations, we want this to be as hard as it possibly can be so that you literally cannot push the last one out. That's assuming,
Where it's shaking.
yeah, you want to shake.
Yeah.
You gotta maintain proper form though. Don't cheat to do another rep and then injure yourself. Please.
And even though we are talking racing wheelchair, we're not using our legs much, but we are using our legs to get in and out of the machine, or the race chair. We're using our legs other times during the day. It's always good to have an overall body workout.
For sure.
Although we're focusing upper body and core, it doesn't hurt to throw a leg exercise in.
And for an extra minute on your workout, come on, put it in, get the whole body done. Now we are shifting over to an upper body station. We.
What, you got a mouse in your pocket?
That's right. Kyle and his best friend, him. Let's see if we can get a good view of that. So the pullover machine, off we go. 4 count down, 4 count back, full range of motion. When you go back, make sure it's to a level that you can comfortably handle. You're not trying to go back and hurt yourself.
And although you're thinking, okay, this has got a lot of shoulder work in it, also hitting what other muscles? Troy, you're the trainer.
Lats,
Tell
we're
'em.
working lats. Lats and abdominals here. So rear delts back here are working. That whole big upper back, all of the muscles. That's just my hand in there. All the upper back muscles are working here. There's a ton of them, and you want all of them to be as strong as possible. But I love this because you get the triceps also, and the abdominals. So who doesn't like to work the abs a little extra?
And those are the muscles you're using on a racing wheelchair so much. Shoulders, lats, arms, even your core, because you're holding that position for a very long time.
If you think about it, like a leg press hits the entire lower body, the pullover gets pretty much all of the upper body muscles. Pretty amazing stuff.
Now, I'm going to make Troy spin it around as
Yeah.
we're going to go over and work some hips.
We are shifting.
It's almost like having a little bit of an earthquake.
So we've got the hip adduction exercise. So inner and outer thighs.
Hitting the inner thighs now, which is adduction because you're adding the legs together. And again, just nice short or nice slow repetition, as much range of motion as you can comfortably do. Hip disc articulation and go way out there. If you got 2 legs, you're not going to go that far. But again, no resting. Don't let the weight set down. 4 seconds in, and since this is a short range of motion, that 4 seconds goes really. You got to be very cautious that you don't go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's adduction. Okay. And of course, I apologize. We're doing softball. Here I am getting my brain over to a racing wheelchair because I was talking about the racing wheelchair earlier. I just realized that I brought up the racing wheelchair, which we also have a workout for that too. But for softball, that you're working the core because of the way you're using, you have to rotate to bat, rotate to throw. I have tried it, but I do know I've competed against adaptive athletes that when they're batting, they will actually put their leg outside the wheel and hold it in place. And they're holding it in place using the adductors and abductors, but the swing also, the throw, so much of that. I'm even wearing the t-shirt, and for some reason my brain went off to racing wheelchair. That's why you have to have a trainer to keep you in line and not let you get distracted about other things.
Oh, it's tough not to get distracted. So stay focused on this. 4 seconds on the way out, 4 seconds on the way in. Like make them real seconds. You know, that's people get a little fast on these, as he was mentioning. But now we're trying to get all of those pushing muscles of the hips.
And how many reps, Troy? Now that we're into the bigger muscles, away from
8 to
military?
12, somewhere in that range. Our goal is really 30 to 90 seconds of work. So a 4 second up and a 4 seconds down, that's an 8 second repetition times 10 puts you in that 80 second range.
And you want to fatigue the muscle. So if you're able to do 20 or 25 reps, you probably need to do what with the weight?
Raise the weight.
More weight.
And you know, you're looking at about a 5% increase. Anytime you're able to do, I like to talk about if you can reach fatigue at 12 or more, 2 workouts in a row, then you are going to bump the weight up.
You know,
Because the one day you might just come in and be at the top of your game and you're just out of this world strong. You raise the weight up and all of a sudden you got nothing the next time.
amazing thing is I've been working with Troy for working with Troy for over 30 years. And that's the same thing he taught me 30 plus years ago, and it still works today.
It still works.
It's simple, it's effective, and it's relatively quick unless you're talking too much in between machines.
That's true. Now, by transitioning quickly between, which we are doing a very bad job
Well,
of.
we're trying.
Yeah, we're doing the best we can. We're
trying
talking.
to educate, inform, as well as train.
During your workout, you're probably not going to chat this much. But
You're doing something wrong.
Yeah,
or you're working out with me.
But when you transition quickly between the machines, not only does it cut your workout time down, it also gets you aerobic
Nice little
aerobic
cardiovascular
training.
workout.
So
You'll
now,
feel it. And you're thinking, how can I get that in 15 or 20 minutes? Trust me, you can.
what'll happen, our goal is, if you're taking it to fatigue, our goal is to get you on the first station to be about a 60 to 70% max heart rate. Kind of a leisurely stroll in the park, so to speak. You're not working really hard,
The
but
talk
you are
test.
working a little bit. The talk test.
Where you can still have a conversation, but you're a little out of breath when you do it.
But by the second station, you should be at 70 to 80% max heart rate. So now you're working a little bit. You're running more or less, you know, in the world of that.
As much as you can run.
That's right. But you're, you know, if you're comparing it to a walk, run,
Right.
sprint,
Right.
and then by the third station, we want to be at 80 to 90% max heart rate, which is more that sprint level. And now the key is, though, that throughout the rest of the workout, the next 10 minutes or whatever it might be, it never goes below 80.
You're maintaining.
So now you really got some cardio benefit going on. And not only are you getting that aerobic benefit, you're also burning fat, which is always a nice thing.
And now that we've talked about the cardiovascular benefits of resistance training done this way, we forgot to tell them how we're doing the abdominals.
Yeah, the abdominals, the key on the abs is sternum to belly button. You're trying to shorten that distance, sternum to belly button, not bring it way over. That's all arms. It's hip flexion. So it's using the hip flexors and the arms, ineffective. But if you crunch it down, think about how much closer you can bring those together. I almost look like an alligator. Oh.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. I'm close enough to being a pirate. I don't need an alligator taking the other leg now. So.
That's right. So that is the key. And another thing on this, just like when we talk about crunches or any other abdominal exercise, on the way back or down, whatever you call that, it's always given up on you. So you have to really force yourself to keep almost an isometric contraction, but you are moving. So obviously it's not isometric, but you've got to keep that tension in the muscle that you're trying to work.
It's the same principle as when you're laying on the ground doing crunches, just short range of motion, and you're not going all the way back to rest because you don't want to rest until you're done with the entire workout.
So no break on the way back, constant tension. And then after this, we just go down the line.
And here's the cool thing, is that there are a lot of different variations on how you can work out. Quite often, Troy would teach or train with bigger muscles first, so legs, then up to the chest and back, then out to the smaller ones. But the way this is set up, we're just going right around the circuit.
It's set up on purpose this way. Makes it easy, but not every gym obviously is going to set it up the way that I did. So you'll just go through, get the workout done. May take you a little bit longer because you got to transition, or if you don't really want to wait for somebody, go to the next station.
Always come back.
Yeah, if you get there and somebody's there, just move on. On this,
we want it quick and effective.
yeah, why waste time?
15, 20 minutes,
In and
a
out.
couple, 3
Done.
times a week.
That's all there is. So on this one, you want to make sure you keep the arch in the lower back. Just like if you were doing a deadlift with dumbbells, you would want to keep an arch in the low back and not let your body hunch over. Instead, the chest is up, the shoulders are up, the head's up, nice
But
neutral
not
position.
Back.
Yeah, neutral neck position. I always like to say if you're wearing, something on the shirt, Mary Free Bed in this case, wheelchair.
That's the
softball
group,
tournament.
the organization that I do competitive sports with, adaptive sports with out of Grand Rapids. They're statewide here in Michigan, Mary Free Bed. Great group. And you're going to have different groups like that throughout the nation, throughout the world that get you involved with the sports.
Or this has nothing to do with Mary Free Bed
Yeah.
or any other thing that would be on the shirt. But if I'm standing across the room and you're doing this exercise, in this case, I should be able to read Mary Free Bed. If he hunches over, it's really hard to read that as he's going. But he's got that nice arch, so it's a good deal.
Good trainer.
And then we are moving on
A
to
good trainer
the...
not only will train you to fatigue and make you do more than you think you can do, they're also going to watch your form, your technique, assist you, remind you. So having a knowledgeable trainer about fitness, whether you're an adaptive athlete, disabled, or an able-bodied, it always helps. You can never train yourself as hard as a trainer can train you. Plus, they're watching your form, watching your technique, reminding you not to do the bad things.
Yeah, so on this one, you really want to make sure that you stop even, elbows even with the body.
See, I'm so old school that I still remember barbell all the way to the chest. But now I'm older and I'm wiser. And why don't we want to go full range of motion at our age now?
Because that is going to strain the rotator cuff. That shoulder is going to be challenged too much. The other thing is it allows you to rest. So the muscles that you're trying to work, the chest, the front of the shoulder, and the tricep all get a little break when you get all the way to the back. And then when you push out, it's really the top of that shoulder that's causing the work to, causing the work. I'm having trouble speaking again today.
Hanging out with me too much.
Big words. I think it's because I'm only in half of the screen. But anyway, I'll be out of the screen. So the
He's got to think like a trainer and not
oh my
like a
goodness.
subject.
But the top of that shoulder, specifically that supraspinatus muscle, has to hold the ball of the shoulder in place. And when you get all the way to the back, it's just not strong enough to do that with the amount of weight that you need to use.
And with everything we're doing with the shoulders as adaptive athletes in the wheelchair, we got to protect that shoulder. That's why
Yes.
we do rotator cuff to strengthen it, and then we don't want to damage it. And of course, there is always.
You can do that position, but again, that is more challenging to that rotator cuff. Now, lots of people have done that their whole lives, never had any trouble. We don't necessarily say you shouldn't do it, but if I'm concerned about my rotator, I'm avoiding that one.
Why not be as safe as possible?
Exactly.
Safe, simple, effective.
Now, our goal is only 8 to 12, and Kyle's on 450 bench presses because he wants to show off his chest. But here's the thing, we're pre-exhausting again. So we've got you exhausted with the chest press, and then we're moving on to the plank.
Because
Ooh.
we've got abdominals to work.
And the abdominals worked earlier, if you remember. We worked them earlier. So they...
Here I'm thinking we were done.
Ah.
For thinking.
So now on the plank, our goal is to have no movement. However, what you could do to add a little bit of a challenge to it is you can just tuck your belly button in, and then release. Tuck the belly button in and release. It's almost like a reverse crunch. So you're looking at belly button and below. Tight, tight, tight. Now, typically on this one, I would just run somebody through a minute of this. If they can't do that, we go as little as 30 seconds and as much as a minute and a half. So
Any difference between being up here or down here?
there is, and we can talk about all of the specifics of that, but in
Yeah,
reality, do the one that you think is hardest for you. The other thing is rotate them. So, well, you could do it in one time like that, or you could just today do the low, next workout do the high, next time do the low, and rotate them through that way. Or do a week's worth of it at the top, a week's worth down on the forearms. So yes, you could get really nitty gritty on that, but for our purposes, it's really more about which one's harder for me.
Which
And
one
people-
fatigues you?
People always ask, is this one harder or is that one harder? And I go, I don't know, give it a shot, because you always have somebody who loves the other one.
And of course, since we're down here,
Yes,
might as well do something else, right?
flip it over, a little hip raise. So you want to have that foot as close to the hip as you can, and then just lift.
And I know you've had me do these with my foot or feet up on a bench as well, too.
You can do that as
So,
well, yeah.
Variations.
Modifications for sure.
Now, how is this different than, say, doing a regular crunch? Why are we doing?
Well,
Oh,
this
yeah.
one, now if we want to do reverse crunches,
Right.
that's going to be different than the hip
Right.
raise. Hip raise, we're going for hamstring, glutes, right? So more lower body.
Right.
Not targeting the abdominals other than stabilization.
And what Troy was talking about, reverse crunches, that is this, which is, we can show you on a different workout, but with softball, because we are using the lower back, the glutes, the buttocks, hamstring, reverse crunch is working all of this. And you'll feel a stretch here, which always feels good too. So, anything else, boss?
That's all I got.
Oh, I love it. So,
And as always, they tell me, can I do more? Or they ask, is this enough? And the answer is always yes, if you take it to fatigue. And I know that our demo doesn't show true fatigue. We might have to do that one day, push it to that level. But
whose idea was that?
that's right.
Yeah.
But if you do take this to total all-out exhaustion, it will be more than enough. And you'll say, thank you, I'm going home.
And you'll want to stay here for a minute to recover before you try to get out. But softball workout, even though earlier I talked about hand cycle bike, I think I did. I don't know.
Hey, it's good for everything.
It
you
is.
know, like
Yeah.
any one of our workouts can
Yeah.
apply to the others. These are just specific,
mainly for softball because of the muscles that we're involved in, with the twisting, swinging the bat, throwing the ball, rolling around the bases, a lot of shoulder work. We do also have a video of me in the sports wheelchair doing some of the wheelchair softball things. So we'll be able to discuss what muscles are involved during that sport-specific activity. So now you can see why Troy has written this workout to show how this is specific for wheelchair softball. Well, like Troy said, this is a good overall body workout, especially for an adaptive athlete. This one just happens to be for wheelchair softball. Anything else about a workout for softball, Troy? What do you think?
No, I think the most important thing is just to do it, because our slogan is get strong, stay fit. And the stronger you get, the better off you're going to be.
Have some fun with it. There are variations. This one just happened to be mainly with the machines, but a lot of variations. Get sport specific, but also the strength training, the resistance training keeps you independent, keeps you healthy. Questions, concerns, comments, let us know how you work out. Let us know if you have questions about anything we did here. This guy's got 40 years of experience as a personal trainer. I have 4 as an amputee, but 30 plus years of working out with him and working with him. Subscribe. It's free.
That's true. Do the free subscription.
Let us
And
know.
of course, if any of this was helpful, like the channel, share it, tell your friends. The more people we can help and the more you can give us back, the better off we're all going to be. We're going to share all that information and continue to provide. And as you were saying, we've got other videos on this sport, but we've also got other videos on tons of other sports and other topics. So with guests coming in and all, everything, it's all great.
We can always learn, even 40 years experience.
That's right.
30 years, we can always learn because there are variations, and of course, adaptive athletes, we run the whole gamut of what it is. If it's spinal cord, neck injury, amputee, high level, above or below knee, muscular dystrophy, so many different variations on how to train. We can learn from you. I learn from my teammates all the sports I do. Some of my teammates have, the genetic condition they were born with, and they're in their 30s or 40s, so they've been an athlete for 20 to 30 years, and they're teaching me every time I practice with them or compete with them. And it's always nice to have a great trainer. The bottom line is do it, but be safe and get some benefit out of it. The benefit is by training to fatigue. Keep it simple.
You know, Kyle, we always ask for questions and comments and suggestions on and all of that. I'll tell you what I would love to see. We got to remember to throw this into. If you have, whatever size video, but just a short video of you competing in any of these sports that we're talking about, throw it in the comments. How fun would that be?
Yeah.
To see everybody else out there competing. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, whether you're a beginner or 15, 20 years of experience. I still remember when I first started 4 years ago, I will never be the best athlete out there, but I'm going to be the best athlete.
He was terrible. I watched him. Now he's
there are
awesome.
videos of that.
Now he's awesome. So
that's all I'm trying to get there.
Oh, he's awesome. Don't let him kid you. But we all start out in a
Yep.
less than successful
Yep.
place. So.
Just try to get better, compete against yourself, but go out and have some fun competing with others. So
I don't know how you're so good at so many of these sports. This is the thing that baffles me.
Either
No,
I'm
it's not just
hard-headed,
me.
I'm arrogant, I haven't learned my lesson, or I just have a great trainer and a great attitude,
Maybe
and
it's
I'm going to go out and have
combination.
some fun.
Maybe it's a combination.
Right.
Because
I
you
always-
are good at a lot of these sports,
I
you
try.
know. So,
Yeah.
all right, we'll
Hey,
see you
thanks.
guys.
Appreciate you.